Money and wealth building. It's not easy. If it were easy, everybody would be wealthy. Have you noticed that? Look around. The masses aren't wealthy because they haven't understood what I'm about to share with you today. The path to financial abundance isn't complicated, but it requires something that most aren't willing to give: discipline, time, and consistent effort. I learned this lesson early in my life, and it changed everything for me. You see, for years I struggled financially. I was working hard. Nobody could say I wasn't putting in the hours. But I was missing fundamental principles that separate the financially free from the financially trapped. I was earning a wage, but not building wealth. And there's a profound difference between the two that I'll explain throughout our journey together. The difference between simply making a living and creating a fortune isn't just in the numbers. It's in the mindset, the approach, and the systems you build. What I want you to understand right from the beginning is this: wealth building is a skill that can be learned. Just like you weren't born knowing how to read or write, nobody is born knowing how to build wealth. But here's the good news. Once you learn these principles and apply them diligently, your financial life will never be the same. The principles I'm about to share with you have created more millionaires than any college degree program. They're timeless, they're proven, and most importantly, they're accessible to anyone willing to study and apply them. Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. This isn't just a clever saying, it's the foundation of wealth building that most people overlook. When I was young and broke, I had a life-changing encounter with a mentor who asked me a simple question. How many books on success and finance have you read this year? I was embarrassed to admit that I hadn't read any. That's why you're broke, he said. That conversation changed the trajectory of my life forever. Most people finish school and stop learning, but the wealthy understand that graduation is just the beginning of their education. Look at any self-made millionaire. They have libraries, not just trophy cases. They invest more in their minds than they do in entertainment. The average American watches television for 4 hours a day, but won't spend 20 minutes reading a book that could transform their financial future. Is it any wonder why the wealth gap continues to grow? The information that can make you wealthy is available at the local library for free, but most won't invest the time to acquire it. Your level of success will rarely exceed your level of personal development. This is why I've always said that if you work hard on your job, you'll make a living, but if you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune. Start reading financial books. Listen to wealth-building podcasts during your commute. Attend seminars by people who have achieved what you want to achieve. Your formal education may have given you knowledge, but self-education gives you wisdom. And in the realm of wealth building, wisdom is what separates the financially secure from those living paycheck to paycheck. Profit is better than wages. I didn't understand this concept for the first part of my life, and it cost me dearly. Most people are trained from childhood to get good grades, get a good job, and work hard. This is the path to financial security, they're told. But have you ever noticed that the people giving this advice are rarely wealthy themselves? There's nothing wrong with having a job, but you'll never build significant wealth trading time for money in a traditional employment arrangement. When I realized that there was a ceiling to how much I could earn through wages, I began looking for ways to earn through profits instead. I started my first small business with more enthusiasm than capital, and while it wasn't an overnight success, it taught me invaluable lessons about business ownership. The wealthy don't rely on paychecks. They create systems that generate income whether they're working or not. They build businesses. They invest in assets. They create intellectual property that pays them repeatedly for work done once. They understand that you'll never build extraordinary wealth by simply working harder at your job. This paradigm shift is difficult for many people because we're conditioned to seek the security of a regular paycheck. But ask yourself this: how secure is a job really when companies can downsize at any moment? How much freedom does a job provide when someone else controls your time and income? The path to wealth isn't about working harder for someone else. It's about building assets that work for you. Whether that's a business, real estate, stocks, or other investments, your focus must shift from earning wages to generating profits if financial freedom is your goal. Don't just make money, make a fortune. But making a fortune requires something that's increasingly rare in our society: financial discipline. When I counsel people about wealth building, I often ask them to show me their spending records for the past 6 months. Most can't do it. How can you build wealth when you don't even know where your money is going? Financial discipline begins with awareness and ends with consistent action. The average person today lives with no financial margin. They increase their lifestyle with every pay raise, trapped on what I call the earn-spend treadmill. But wealth builders are different. They live below their means, not at them or beyond them. When their income increases, their savings and investments increase, not just their lifestyle. This isn't deprivation. It's strategic delay of gratification. I've always taught that you can have just about anything you want, but you can't have everything you want. Choices must be made, and the wealthy choose to forego small pleasures today for greater freedom tomorrow. Financial discipline also means following proven principles rather than popular opinion. While others are financing new cars and accumulating consumer debt, wealth builders are driving reliable used vehicles and directing those savings into assets that appreciate. While others are upgrading to bigger homes with bigger mortgages, wealth builders are purchasing investment properties that generate cash flow. The financially disciplined don't ask, "Can I afford the payment?" They ask, "Is this purchase taking me closer to or further from financial freedom?" This mindset difference seems subtle, but over decades, it creates millionaires out of ordinary income earners. Here's a fundamental truth about wealth: you don't get rich by accident. You get rich by design, and that design requires an investment mindset. Early in my wealth-building journey, I learned that the wealthy don't just work for money, they make their money work for them. This concept transformed how I viewed every dollar that came into my possession. Most people spend first, save what's left, if anything, and never get around to investing. The wealthy invert this formula. They invest first, save second, and spend what remains after these priorities are handled. I call this paying yourself first, and it's the cornerstone of building wealth. When you receive your income, your first financial obligation should be to your future self. Before the government takes its share, before the bills get paid, before any discretionary spending occurs, direct a portion of your income toward investments that will grow and compound over time. The investment mindset also extends beyond money to include your time and energy. Wealthy people invest their time in learning about money management and investment strategies. They invest energy in building relationships with financially successful individuals. They understand that you become like the people you associate with most, so they deliberately seek mentors and peers who elevate their financial thinking. Remember, your life in 5 years will be the direct result of two things: the books you read and the people you associate with. Invest wisely in both. For those serious about building wealth, entrepreneurship offers advantages that employment simply cannot match. When I counsel individuals about creating financial abundance, I often ask them, "Do you have a job or do you own a business?" The difference is profound. With a job, your income potential is limited by your employer's perception of your worth. With a business, your income is limited only by the value you create and the problems you solve in the marketplace. Entrepreneurship isn't just about starting a large company. It can be a side business, a consulting practice, or even transforming your current job into an entrepreneurial role where you think and act like an owner rather than an employee. The key is shifting from a mindset of trading time for money to creating systems that generate value, and therefore income, independently of your direct daily effort. This is how you create leverage, and leverage is essential for building significant wealth. The entrepreneurial path isn't easy. I've never promised that wealth building would be. It requires risk-taking, problem-solving, and perseverance through inevitable failures. But the financial rewards can be extraordinary. More importantly, the personal growth required for entrepreneurial success transforms you in ways that extend far beyond your bank account. Remember, success is not something you pursue, it's something you attract by the person you become. The process of building a business builds the character and capability that makes you deserving of wealth. You might wonder why I'm discussing health in a series about wealth building. Here's why. Your health is your most valuable asset. All the money in the world can't buy you a new body. I've seen too many successful people accumulate significant wealth only to spend it later trying to reclaim their health. That's not success. That's a tragedy. True wealth includes robust health that allows you to enjoy your financial resources. Working out and staying healthy isn't just about longevity. It's about energy, mental clarity, and productivity. When you exercise regularly, eat nutritiously, and get adequate rest, you show up in life and business as your best self. You can work with greater focus, make better decisions, and sustain the effort required for long-term wealth building. I found that the discipline required to maintain physical health directly translates to financial disciplines as well. Both require consistent small actions that compound over time. Wealth builders understand that self-care isn't selfish. It's necessary. They schedule time for physical activity with the same commitment they bring to business meetings. They invest in quality food the way they invest in quality assets. They understand that stress management and adequate sleep aren't luxuries but essentials for sustained success. Remember, the goal isn't just to be rich, it's to be rich and healthy enough to enjoy it. Take care of your body with the same diligence you apply to your financial portfolio. Both are critical components of a truly wealthy life. If I could share just one financial concept that has the power to transform your financial future, it would be compounding. Einstein supposedly called it the eighth wonder of the world, and with good reason. Compounding works in both finance and personal development, and understanding it fully can make the difference between modest success and extraordinary wealth. In finance, compounding means earning returns not just on your original investment, but on the returns that investment has already generated. It's money making money on money that money made. It sounds simple, but the implications are profound. Given enough time, even modest investments can grow to remarkable sums. This is why I've always emphasized starting your investment journey early. Not because you need a lot of money to begin, but because you need time for compounding to work its magic. Someone who invests $5,000 a year from age 25 to 35 and then stops will likely have more money at retirement than someone who invests the same amount yearly from age 35 to 65. That's the power of compounding. But compounding isn't limited to financial investments. It applies to knowledge, skills, and relationships as well. Each book you read doesn't just add information. It builds upon your existing knowledge base, creating exponential rather than linear growth in understanding. Each skill you master makes acquiring related skills easier. Each quality relationship you develop can lead to multiple new connections. The wealthy understand that success compounds in all areas of life, which is why they're constantly investing in themselves and their capabilities. Remember, small disciplines repeated with consistency every day lead to great achievements gained slowly over time. Here's a truth that most financial advisors won't emphasize enough. It's not how much you make that determines your wealth. It's how much you keep. Tax strategy isn't about evading obligations. It's about legally minimizing what might be your largest lifetime expense. I learned early in my wealth-building journey that understanding the tax code isn't just for accountants. It's essential knowledge for anyone serious about building and preserving wealth. The wealthy approach taxes differently than the middle class. They don't just prepare for taxes. They plan for them throughout the year. They structure their income, investments, and businesses to take advantage of legal tax incentives. They understand that there's a profound difference between tax avoidance, legal and smart, and tax evasion, illegal and foolish. They know that certain investments receive preferential tax treatment, and they direct their capital accordingly. They recognize that business ownership offers tax advantages that employment does not, and they organize their affairs to benefit from these distinctions. Developing a tax strategy requires education and professional guidance. Invest time in understanding basic tax principles and how they apply to your financial situation. Work with qualified tax professionals who can help you implement legal strategies to minimize your tax burden. Remember, every dollar saved in taxes is a dollar that can be invested to generate returns. Over decades, the difference between poor and excellent tax planning can amount to hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars in wealth. Don't make the mistake of focusing solely on earning more while ignoring this critical aspect of wealth preservation. As we conclude our journey together, I want to challenge you to think beyond accumulation to significance. Wealth building isn't just about having more. It's about becoming more and doing more with what you have. The ultimate measure of your financial success isn't the size of your bank account, but the impact your resources have on the world around you. True wealth builders develop a legacy perspective. They ask themselves, how can my financial success create opportunity for others? How can I use these resources to make a meaningful difference? What values am I demonstrating and passing on through my relationship with money? These questions elevate financial success from mere accumulation to true significance. I've observed that the happiest wealthy individuals are those who view their resources as tools for positive impact rather than symbols of personal status. Developing a legacy perspective also helps maintain proper motivation during the wealth-building journey. When your financial goals extend beyond personal comfort to making a difference in causes you care about, you tap into deeper sources of drive and determination. You'll work with greater purpose when building wealth isn't just about you. As you implement the principles we've discussed, self-education, shifting from wages to profits, financial discipline, investing, entrepreneurship, maintaining health, harnessing compounding, and tax strategy, do so with legacy in mind. Remember, the ultimate purpose of wealth isn't just freedom for yourself, but the ability to create value for others that extends far beyond your lifetime. That's not just making a fortune, that's making a difference.